When Joe Biden was elected president, millions of Americans celebrated. All the people who had told us all to obey lockdowns, to socially distance, and to wear the damn mask promptly ignored all their own orders. Because it's alright when they do it. They went delirious in wildly euphoric scenes. Some celebrated privately, before publicly posting the videos of themselves dancing. But many more took to the streets. However, the rest of us advised a bit more caution. We warned that such overt posturing might be a bit premature, and that the Biden presidency could turn out to be bad news. But really, none of us foresaw the true extent of the catastrophe that was coming. Because Joe Biden's presidency has been a heroic disaster in every way imaginable. In October 2020, Biden tweeted that anyone who had presided over 220,000 deaths should not remain president. Yet under his rule, even after the vaccines were rolled out, America's death toll has increased fourfold. While fatalities fell sharply across the globe, in Biden's America, they actually rose. This despite the fact that his administration imposed punitive measures on masks and vaccines. America's death toll is now near 1 million. Well, what else has been happening in Biden's America? While they've been clamping down on 6-year-olds without face masks, they've gone soft on criminals. And the result is a virtually unprecedented crime wave. Looting and robberies have rocketed. And with the Democrats giving tacit support to BLM's Defund the Police campaign, the American murder rate has spiralled out of control too. Destitution has risen sharply as well, and now large areas of previously glamorous cities like Los Angeles and San Francisco are virtual no-go zones. America's southern border is also collapsing into chaos. It's got so bad there that it now seems obvious that the only real solution is to finish the wall. But of course, the Democrats can't even consider that. So the situation will likely continue to deteriorate. The border crisis also exposed the gaping deficiencies in the world's most famous diversity hire, Kamala Harris. A woman of staggering incompetence, and one who's even more unlikable than Hillary Clinton. Yet she may, well, eventually become America's president. America's economy, which boomed under his predecessor, is on the brink of collapse under Biden. Inflation is soaring to record heights. The supply system has ground almost to a halt. And the shops are so empty, they conjure up images of late Soviet-era Russia. The US is also struggling through an energy crisis, with gas and oil prices rocketing. You'd think these problems would assume the state's priorities. But Biden has always struck me as an opportunistic politician. One without true principles, who went in whatever direction he sensed the political winds were shifting. That's why he survived so long. But he may have miscalculated on this occasion, because he's jumped on the bandwagon of the woke left, just as scores more are deserting that movement, or rousing themselves in opposition. Under his administration, critical race theory has been pushed in schools, much to the opposition of parents and voters. And they've shown a desire to stifle free speech, both online and in public discourse. This is a crazed misstep in priorities, with the state facing such mounting crises. And it also flies in the face of the free speech rights upon which the US was founded. It's just another tactical own goal from this misfiring administration. And that's seeing opposition rise from within his own party as well. Biden's hopes had rested on an eye-watering $1 trillion government rescue package. But the proposal was halted in its tracks when Democrats voted against it. But of course, when considering Biden's presidency, we must consider the man himself. And his shocking mental decline has become impossible to deny. It's both sad and scary. I've honestly never seen a world leader so bewildered and incompetent, so often seemingly oblivious or unable to mumble even a coherent sentence. If a man in his condition was managing a shop, he'd be asked to step down. But Biden, in charge of the most powerful nation and economy on earth, is kept in place. And of course, the liberal media are as duplicitous and hypocritical as ever. The same people who jumped all over every verbal gaffe of Donald Trump, George Bush and Ronald Reagan have fallen strangely silent over the far worse condition of Calamity Joe Biden. And the same is true of the comedy circuit. They continually roasted Donald Trump. But of the virtually limitless comedic potential of the Biden-Harris presidency, they refuse to even broach that goldmine. They won't touch it. Because today's breed are political activists first and comedians second. That's why they're about as funny as a block toilet. So really, every single aspect of Biden's presidency has been a catastrophe. But the worst of all might be in the sphere of foreign policy. We had the catastrophe of Afghanistan, of course. An even worse shambles of a withdrawal in Vietnam. And the consequences of that could prove disastrous indeed. Because our enemies have been waiting for a sign of American weakness for a while. They didn't get it in the 4 years prior to Joe Biden, but they've sure got it now. So Putin has swept into Ukraine, and Xi Jinping is greedily eyeing up Taiwan. I do wonder if all of those who voted for Biden, and who whooped and hollered when he got elected, are having any second thoughts. I wonder if their consciences are even remotely bothered by what they've inflicted on the world. But I bet they're not. Even though they may end up directly responsible for World War III. Look, I'm not pretending that Donald Trump was any sort of paragon of probity, decency, virtue and restraint. But by any metric, he was a much, much better president than Joe Biden, or the awful spectre of Kamala Harris. That really isn't a discussion. And if you think it is, then you truly swallowed the derangement that swept the world for the last few decades. But for all this catalogue of disasters, the most shocking aspect of Joe Biden's presidency is that, as I speak, we're only 1 year in, with 3 more years to go. How much worse might it actually get? If you'd like to support this channel, please like, subscribe, and think about buying my books. They're called The Tyranny of the Left, and they're available on the links below. Please do feel free to pick them up and let me know what you think. Thank you.